G'day, ladies and gentlemen. It's waiting to turn at the old traffic stop section here, mate. Your boy, Sergeant Wombat. How we all going? Mate, it is finally a good day. It has been so many days since that last vlog I did, right? Where it's just been rain and constant weather dips, and that was an oddly sketchy situation. But yeah, it's finally got a little bit of sunshine. Well, you know, sunshine. And it's going to rain later tonight, but I thought I'd get a little cheeky ride in whilst I head off to work and just see what's going on. And man, I thought I'd have a little chat about the old riding seasons, because I know a lot of my audience is American and their riding season definitely ain't winter right now, so they're probably having the time of their lives. Whereas, well, I can assure you, it's not the best riding weather for us right now. So, what's it like riding in different seasons, man? It's different for everybody. Some people have snow, we don't have snow, we have rain. Some people have a lot more storms, some people have bloody humidity, some people have a lot more bloody dryness. And I know it's different all over the world, so let me know down below, guys, what you guys all experience all year round and at your best and worst. Because in Melbourne, I know everyone says Australia's just hot and deadly. Melbourne's mostly just cold and miserable and hot and then miserable, and it fluctuates because we're quite, south down. But I thought I'd give a little crack-a-lack and talk about what it's a bit like to ride in all the different seasons. And since we're in winter right now, why don't we start with that one? So riding in winter, it's a little all over the shop, because sometimes winter's really shit, sometimes it's a bit like how we've had it lately, where it's sunny, 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 wet, 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 sunny, sunny, wet, stuff like that. So when it's sunny in winter, it's not the worst. It is a little uncomfortable if you have the wrong gear on, I'll give you that, so your hands might freeze up, and if you have a really small engine bike, the bike won't warm you, that's for sure. The Rebel, however, does not really get that warm, so I can't say that's helping me. So you gotta suffer with the old weather stuff, man. That's the one thing you gotta worry about. So cold hands is a major sort of problem with it. And if you have gloves like mine, the sleeve pops open and then you just get cold wind up your sleeve. Thin pants, cold legs, shrimp dick. You know what I'm saying? We've all been there. And wet. Cold in winter, cold tires, cold ground, wet ground, slippy, bad time. You know what I'm saying? And because it's always wet, other drivers just drive like fucking idiots, man. It's a pain in the fucking ass, I'll give you that much. But winter, I'd say as a overall, it's just kind of, I'm sure everyone agrees, it's not the best time to be riding, and there's definitely better riding days. Sure, it has its moments, but no, I would consider it nothing flash. Alright? Winter. I think we can give this a solid 2 out of 10. It's not the best time to be riding all year round, especially if you live in a colder place. You would agree, it just sucks. Anyway, we'll move on to a little bit nicer time. That's spring. Now, spring's a bit of a hit and miss depending on you as a person. Now, if you've got allergies, man, well, spring riding kind of sucks, because if you're like my mate Jason, you'll be riding on a nice sunny day with your eyes watering and you'll be blind. And no, it's not because he's Asian. Don't be racist. But if you can't see because your allergies are kicking off, man, you're going to have a bad time. And I mean, if you're sneezing, coughing, not only are you closing your eyes and your eyes are watering, you're physically moving your head to the side, so you'll be struggling to sort of stay focused on the road anyway, so you know what I mean? It's just a bit of a shitter. If you're not suffering allergies, spring's not bad. Sometimes it's a little cold, you got to give it that. But as a whole, spring's a good time. You're going to have a nice few warm days, few cold days, few wet days, but it's spring. So if you're not suffering allergies, spring is usually a pretty solid session, I'd rate that one a solid 7 out of 10. And then we go into summer. Summer, however. Summer is just optimal riding weather, man. Summer is just what you consider the best kind of riding you can possibly do all year round. Don't you fucking go. So if you're riding in summer all year round, man, kind of weather, so if you're living in Perth, it's basically that, man, it's great. Warm, if you're you get the summer gear on, or nothing if you're a real champion. Don't do that. You can go on a ride basically any day, unless there's thunderstorms. Summer has the thunderstorms. It's really the only downside you got to worry about, especially say here. So you get the thunderstorms, but it's warm. So even on a miserable day, summer's still pretty solid in terms of warmth. But that's an overall rest of it, you know what I mean? It's summer, of course. It's the best fucking time of year to ride. There's no question about it. Summer's the 10 out of 10. Doesn't matter if there's the occasional thunderstorm, it's summer, man. You look all year, look forward to it. You're like, oh, thank God, it's summer soon. And then, bam, you hop on the bike and you have a fucking time of your life. Now, the next one is a bit of a, an interesting one, because autumn, I feel like, is a little bit underrepresented in terms of things you got to sort of worry about. So everyone knows winter's cold and miserable, all right? So slippery, icy in some places, wet. But autumn does not get enough love in terms of this one. It should be definitely up higher on your worry list, because autumn can be cold, it can be wet, it can be warm, all right? Nothing unusual, but it's the debris on the roads. Now, if you ride in areas that have a lot of tree tunnels, okay, like the big tree tunnels, and they just shed leaves fucking everywhere, what that does is creates a very slippery surface on the road. And I don't know if you've ridden on gravel too much. It's like that, essentially. So with gravel, you sort of expect it to be slippery. You don't really expect that no matter how well you're thinking about it on roads. So if you're riding right and there's leaves everywhere, you might be like, oh, there's a bit of leaves, got to be careful. But you don't really realise until you slam the brakes on, or you try and lean over and the bike just goes, goodbye. And you're like, you see mud on the road, you're like, that's going to be slippery. You see water, you go, oh, better be careful. You see leaves, you'll be like, oh, okay. But you never really sort of go, fuck, that's dangerous. Because you're sort of, everyone except for those who know, underestimate the leaves. And that's a bit disappointing, because leaves can make a good day a very, very bad one. Now, I haven't personally fallen on my ass with leaves. That was not how you take that corner, good sir, but alright, we move. But I've definitely slipped on leaves before, like even when you come to a stop. Now, this happens when my tree in my house sheds. It's like the autumn season, it gets all over the driveway. I'll stop the bike, put my foot down, and my foot will just keep going. And I'm like, because nothing's more embarrassing than just dropping your bike. Especially if it's just fucking leaves, man. Beautiful tunnels. So, you gotta be, there's goats down there. It's really cute. You gotta be careful in autumn. It's dangerous. It's very underrated, I think. No one really talks about autumn's leaves being a fucking shit time. So, if you're riding in the autumn season, guys, do be careful. But like I said before, I'll be interested to hear your take on how you handle the elements in different weathers. So leave a comment down below, of course. Talk to me. I'll be interested. Yes, speed zones mean nothing to this man. Only reason I'm being extra sensible is because I have, not too far to go, and I want to make sure this vlog has a little bit of content in it. But yes, quick little side note, I just remembered. I made it into a MotoStars video for the short I posted of me on my bike slipping over the lane and nearly going head first into another car. That could have been a horrendous time in my last vlog. I didn't put it in the vlog, but I did put it as a short, so if you're interested in seeing me nearly shit the bed, go watch that. Sharing is caring, even if you almost died. Yeah, but a moment like that certainly puts some hair in your chest, and that's another... pretty much sums up the winter season. It was a sunny day, but guess what? The bike was cold, the road was cold, and man, we went slip, slip, slip. Goodbye! Man, it was almost a horrendous time, and that's for sure. Man, this intersection's so good all the time. It smells like KFC. Funny story, the other day actually I was riding down here and I saw a streaker running across the road, and for some reason he was holding his jacket, and clearly this man was it was a cold day in Melbourne. It didn't do him very favours. Shouldn't think, but what happened was he had his jacket, but he wasn't running with it over his dick, he was running with it over his fucking chest for some reason. It was really, really odd choice of placement, man. I think it's time I open this front vent in this rook. Unfortunately the front vent's just awkward location. Hello, how are you? I am under the water, please help me. But man, take it easy when you're out here riding in different seasons, brother and sister. It's just, man, there are such simple little nuances in seasons that everyone takes for granted and just doesn't think about. But there's so many situations where it's so easy to have a good day turn bad that you don't realize. See this corner there, that car's going fine. I've gone around that corner, but see those little zebra lines? A little bit of moisture, mate, and you take that corner over a little bit too fast and you give it a bit too much throttle and you're going up and over that curb because you're just going to fall down and eat shit. It's that simple. Bikes, everyone knows they're dangerous, but it really doesn't take much to fuck it up. In fact, there's an intersection down there. You might be able to see the cars if I can zoom in, just down there where that yellow truck just passed. There was a biker who died down here not too long ago, but that's because he ran the red light here and a car was doing a U-turn. So it's kind of his fault, but man, take it easy out there when you're riding, folks. Don't want to see any of my all my children who speak to me in my comments be like, yeah, I had a friend who died, and I'll be like, no, please take care of yourselves. Anyway, that's all I have time for today, kids. So take it easy, keep it cheesy, and leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a good day. Peace. Bye.